Huck, okay, we were talking about tempo and speed. Huck, you said this, that you gave reference that category completion was a term Mr. Parker came up with.
Yes.
Okay. But I always equate you with it because you're like the voice of Ed Parker with our history and things that we have learned. Do we have category completion at this point with all the forms that are in the Kenpo system?
Yes, that's what it is. If you just have a brain in your head and analyze it, say, okay, what is short one? Base and block. That's it. Retreating. What is long one? Base and block. The same thing, short one, but now I have to add a counter. So I counter with the rear hand and a straight punch, the late use punch in Kenpo. And then I learn through in, out, up, down again. I go to that, and then I get the second half, which is the short one, left-handed. But you have to do, like I said, something different that you've never done before. So you learn, I haven't blocked with my rear hand yet. I've blocked with my front hand. I've countered with my rear hand, but I haven't blocked with my rear hand. Now, when you do that, you leave your base alone. You do not move the stance that you learned through punch and the forward bow because you're not concerned with that, because reach is not your problem. Now you're blocking, reach is the opponent's problem. I say, don't worry, it'll be there. So you better have the alignment. Now I tell people, keep it neutral. I show them this. I say, stay neutral. Do not change one little bit and block with your rear hand. And they can't cover their face. Now turn your upper body to a forward bow position, and you can do that. That is what you're learning in the second half of long one, what we call the trunk rotation or the upper body rotation only. And then you go to the end, which brings in your first hand isolation. And that is based on the last block is a downward block. So I tell people, I say, now when you're doing that, I say, there are more downward blocks than all other blocks. So let's look at some of them. There's also the inside downward palm down, palm up, and push down. But you do the palm down first, and that is from point of origin. But you say, oh, hey, shut your eyes, boys and girls, or what I say, shut your eyes because I don't want you to see me break a rule and cock as a separate move. We don't cock or check as a separate move. So you have to bring your hand up and then come down, and you do that 3 times. Then you do the push down, and then you throw in a series of punches to show the new angle, the front corners. That's the only reason you do it, the new angle, the one in the middle. Now, when you get to 2 and you get to 1030, where short 2 closed, and you keep it going, you say, now I'm going to use the hand isolation from long 1, but I'm going to stick to point of origin rule. So that's why palm up comes first, because your hand is high, that comes first, then your hand is low, that comes palm down, and then the push down. So that goes back to point of origin, and then there's more to it than that, but then, I'm just going to not say much more about that.
Okay.
Just get the ball rolling and how people should be thinking.
We have been focusing mostly on short 1, short 2, long 1, short, and long 2. But my question then on category completion, in the totality of all the forms, up to 6, what about form 7 and 8? Are they still, has that been completed or not?
To me and a lot of other people, there is no form 7 and form 8. Now, there was originally many years ago when I was still in Pasadena, there was a form 7, which was a twin dagger set, but it was nothing. It was what I called short 1 of the knife. It broke every weapons rule that, if you study a blade system, people ask me all the time, is Kenpo a weapon system? I said, no. I says, I heard it was. When people say, I heard it was. I said, then you never learned the creed. If you say the creed, I come to you with karate MP, I have no weapons. He said, you got. So as I tell people, if you're going to study a weapon system or learn to use weapons, study a real weapon system because the rules and principles are different. And people have trouble with that. Many people doing 7 in the old days have cut themselves real bad doing the figure 8s inside themselves and whacked their arms with real knives and say, hey, it's something you learn from the weapon system that you never do. The knife has to stay outside so that doesn't happen. But that's
so
just one little point.
Should we discard those other forms?
Well, many people that do them don't like them.
Okay.
Don't like them. And they don't like even 6 is not the best weapon stuff in the world. Like I said, If you do 6, you know that a lot of people don't know. When you say, hey, even with empty hands, do I want to be inside or outside? Do I want to be inside or outside? Outside, you learn in the Filipino systems and other systems to zone the backup weapon and stay away from the other hand. So you do that in 6. And a lot of people don't know this, but if they analyze, you alternate. First technique is outside. Second technique is inside, then outside, inside, outside, inside, outside, inside. And you do that through the form. And you really realize all the problems you can run into if you go inside. You're walking right into the backup weapon. The man's got 2 hands. He knows how to use a weapon, and he will come out on top if you try that. So a lot of that is done for category completion because we do move from outside to inside and inside from outside. The first time we do it is from inside to outside when we do flashing wings in 4. That's good, but not to move from outside to inside and run into a knife that'll kill you. When your life is on the line, we have you complete these categories to show you, look, we're doing this at the worst possible time. Your life is on the line. What is your life worth? Where is your brain and your thinking? And that's what it's for, you know.
So is it been basically ignored forms 7, the club, and 8, the revised knife, because of the
Well, I want you
it
think
doesn't
about
have-
this. Think about this. The forms were put together many, 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 many years ago. Stopped at 6. Now, all of a sudden, 7 and 8, 9, 10 that you hear about come popping up many, many, many years later. Why? Because people wanted to do that, okay? They wanted to do that. Now, a lot of people had their hand in on that. I'll tell you a story. A lot of people, some people know, some people don't know. Back in the days in Pasadena, we had many people walk in the door wanting to teach their art. You know, different arts, silat, kali, eskrima, whatever. And I would beg the old man, Mr. Parker, let this guy, he wants to teach, let him teach, we want to learn. No, no. See that sign? What's it say? Ed Parker's Kenpo. If it's not Ed Parker's Kenpo, we're not doing it. And I know why, and a lot of the old timers know why too. It cost him, you know, a big, I'm not going to, I don't want to talk about it, but a lot of people, again, know what I'm talking about. So they didn't want to see the school cleaned out and everybody leave with these guys. So this is the thing. So we're going to make up our own. We keep these people happy, whatever, with whatever they want to do, then that's fine. But some people weren't happy with that, and they took off and went where they were happy. Yeah. So,
did Mr. Parker teach you Form 7 club and Form 8 knives?
no club then. 7, very few people learn 7. He taught me 7. Oh, hell, I can't remember.
Was it a work in progress, or was it a completed form?
It was completed, but again, it wasn't much of anything to me. You know, it was an object lesson for me more than anything. It was a rule that you couldn't learn 7 until you were a black belt. Yeah, so I didn't think anything about that. And the old man taught me Form 7. I was a brown belt, but he never finished it. He never finished it. So time went by, and I didn't think about it. Hey, let's, you know, didn't care. Wasn't very much to me. So weekend rolled around where I took my black belt test. When I pulled in to open the school, Pasadena school on Monday, the old man, Black Caddy, old Black Eldorado was in the back. And I said, what's he doing here? So I walked in the door. I said, hey, what's going on? What are you doing here? He said, come on mat. Get out there. You got to finish 7. He said, so let's do it. So I did it. And he said, okay, that's it. He said, here, now do this. One technique. It's all I didn't have. You know, and that's it? He said, yeah, now you got it. He says, well, okay, that's good. He said, I told you, you couldn't learn it till you were black belt. That was an object lesson for me. If he stuck with the rules, I stick with the rules. So, and that's how I teach it that way. So, but I never, and again, he was the only one that taught it. Nobody else. Some people taught it, and they got in the old man's crap list, as we call it, you know, for doing that. because again, very few people knew it, but I never shown it to anybody and never will for that reason.